Hey guys, welcome back. So today we got Sonata Hybrid 2012. We got a bunch of complaints here. Check on report on hybrid system. Second line is jerky motion while driving at slow speeds, and hybrid system failed. And what else? Let me see here. And replace drive belt as necessary, so we don't have to worry about that. So let's do scan for codes. Okay, as we can see here on our system, under instrument cluster, why so blurry there? Oh, that's dirty. So it says there in the cluster, check active air flap system. And we get the hybrid wrench, what do I call that, icon there. So it's just check ignition on, right? So let me go full system scan. Let's see what we have here. I'm just gonna scan all the modules and see. And let's try starting this vehicle. Okay, so it goes to ready mode. I just have that active air flap warning on the cluster, right? Let me okay. Engine sounds okay, right? I don't know if it will hear on the, what I call that, on the camera. And we'll just wait until our full system scan is done. Okay, so the full system is scanned, and we get an active code for active air flap system fail. And then on history, we got to say we got a drive motor A temperature sensor circuit range performance. Okay, that's interesting. Sensor range circuit. So for sure this guy here can cause on our jerky motion while driving, in my opinion. We're gonna look for that code. And this one, I think this is just a pretty straightforward what do you call that, diagnosis. I'm just gonna check power and ground, and I think there's only 4 wires on that. If there's a communication in there, that should be okay, and that should be it. So I'm just gonna drive this vehicle, and we'll try to duplicate this jerky motion while driving at slow speeds, and we'll see from there. Alright guys, so before I went to test drive, I just want to grab our data again and just double check. But right now, because we get a code for what do you call that, active air flap, so I just went to our MCU again just to double check, because we got a code for that range temp sensor, right? So last time it won't communicate at all. I don't know if it will communicate. So right now it communicates, so I think it's good now so far. Earlier I cannot go inside the module itself. It can't even identify to the engine. So, and we get that active air flap code, and as I can see on that wiring diagram, that's where the CAN communication is. So let me see if it can communicate to the ECU. So yeah, it's the same thing what happened earlier. It's just loading. Like, so right now I got my breakout box.
It's just from Amazon. We're gonna hook this up because on these models they have that can low on the OBD port, so we can test there. So we don't have to go to the module itself just to go tap into the CAN network. So let me hook this up because right now I think there's something going on because it can't communicate to the ECU. Right, so let's just verify this concern because I think it's because of the active air flap. Maybe it corrupted the whole network and this is what's going on. So let's see. I'm just gonna remove that OBD2 dangle there, put this our breakout box, and let's see our CAN waveform. So as you can see there, it's not really fancy, and there's a pin out here, but we still always to double check the wiring diagram if they have that can high, can low on that OBD port, because sometimes they don't have that, so you have no choice but to tap into one of the modules, which is easier, right? So on this one, the can on pin number 6 and 14, that's our can high and can low. So I'm just gonna grab the scope and let's tap in there and let's see what's on that waveform. Okay, so on our scope now, I'm gonna put in the blue one. Well, I'm using yellow leads, but the blue one on the scope capture, that's gonna be our can high, right? So I'm just gonna put this on the ground side and put this on can high. And then on our second channel, the red one, we're gonna put in our can low. So same thing, I'm just gonna put our ground there. Okay, so now I'm gonna move you over to our laptop. Let me close this guy here. Let me put this to, let's say, start 5 volts, and this guy, let's go 5 volts. As you can see our blue line here. Let me zoom in a little bit. So this is our can low, so 2.5 to 1.5. As you can see on our blue line, which is that yellow one, can high, it's staying at ground, which is not good. So it's shorted to ground. I guess that's why we cannot communicate to that ECU, because it's part of that network. So I'm gonna go through with you with that wiring diagram, and then for this active air flap on this one, I think I cannot access it on just in the front bumper. I have to lift up the vehicle. So I'm gonna lift up the vehicle and then we'll try to remove that, just to double check that it's coming from our active air flap that's communicating this issue, how this so we'll just double check and remove our active air flap connector, and we'll locate that, and let's see when we remove that if the active air flap itself is contributing this issue, not communicating to the ECU, because earlier we communicated no problem, right? So let's go to the wiring diagram and let's see. So here's our wiring diagram. And first thing first, as you can see here, these are DLC, and you can see on my mouse, oh no, just don't use, this is my finger, get your can high and can low there. So that's why we're using the DLC connector there. So when we go move up, as you can see there, there's our PCM. Okay, let me zoom that. It's PCM, our MCU, our active air flap is on the other side there. So we're gonna go through that. Let me click this and see where's that connected. So that's our connector. Okay, so it's under or behind the front bumper. So I'm gonna remove that connector, right? And let's see if our communication are coming back, and we know that it's the active air flap fault and we have that fault. So we'll just double check with our power and ground in there, and then that's a quick diagnosis for the active air flap, right? Okay, so I left our scope leads there. Well, we're gonna lift it up, but as you can see there, it came back online. So let me try to communicate with our scan tool now, and let's see if we can go to our engine control module. Okay, so I'm just gonna go there. Okay, it's still the same thing. It's doing the same thing, but at least we have the waveform now. Let's try to remove that connector first on our active air flap, and let's see if we can communicate now to our module. Okay, so it's still say that not responding. We have our waveform there. Okay, let me just remove this camera. Okay, so we're underneath the vehicle right now, and this guy here is our active air flap. So as you can see there, there's damage, and we can't really access the connector on that one, but I can see there's a connector here, this guy, and that's all the way there, white with the white tape. That's our, is it the one with the white tape? Yes, the one with the white tape, that's our joint connector. So I think the easiest access for that is I'm gonna remove this guy here. This guy, I'm gonna remove this, and then I'll just squeeze my hand in there, and let's remove that. Let's see if our communication is back. And for sure it needs a new active air flap on this guy, because we see that there's a damage in there. So let me remove all the clips, and then let me remove that connector. Okay, so I removed that connector. Let me try again. DTC. Doesn't go through now. Okay, failed to read the BCI. Let's go home. Now let me close this back. Or unless the Bluetooth doesn't, I call that, doesn't reach down. Let's see. Oh. Okay, connect to the Bluetooth. Let's do auto bin. Okay. let's try again. Now it recognized the vehicle. Okay. Okay, so now we can communicate to our engine, right? Just give me now a code for active air flap can lost communication because we removed the connector, right? Let's go back. So right now our testing will be next is we're just gonna double check our power and ground, make sure that we have good power and ground on that connector, and after that we can call the new active air flap. So right now we're on this connector, the one that I just removed. So we're gonna check our pin number 6, it's a pink, number 5, and our ground. So let me grab a test light and we'll see. Okay, so we're gonna be looking for the pin number 9. That's gonna be a black wire. Let's see if I can reach it there. Where's the black wire there? Pin number 9. There should be pin number 9 here. Okay, I just want my light to position there. Okay, that's good enough. You guys seeing it? Okay, you guys seeing it? What? Okay, that should be better. Okay, so black is down. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna put that on number 9. And number 5, number 6 is pink. Number 5. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Got my headlamp there. Okay, I'm just gonna pop this. We're already ignition on there. I'm gonna put this guy here. Okay, as you can see there, our bulb turns on. Number 6. Number 5 and then number 6. Okay, so we could have good power and ground. Now it's either that extension harness going to the active air flap. There's something going on there, but as we can see the damage on that flap itself, most likely this guy needs an active air flap. So I'm gonna call the active air flap and we're gonna see from there.